Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time may be that you are willing to engage in this practice. Ideally, a Kundalini practice is carried out in the morning. We call this sadhana, a daily practice. Ideally, if you are looking to obtain the results that the kriya, which is what we call a physical yoga set, if you want this to really demonstrate its effects, then we recommend you do for 40 days consecutively. But we're also a fan of you doing yoga anytime, anywhere, for any amount of time, so don't be so hard on yourself. As with any beginning practice, be kind and be open-minded, and who knows, this might be something that becomes very valuable to you and you can use for a long time. So today what we're going to be doing is a kriya, or like I said, kriya is the name we give in Kundalini Yoga to the physical practice. And every Kundalini class involves chanting, involves some type of breath work, some type of pranayama, and usually a meditation at the conclusion of the class. Today I won't really have any music or mantra playing in the background, but I do recommend that if you want a powerful mantra that aligns all the chakras and really strengthens your root, and it's the base seminal mantra of Kundalini Yoga, it is the Mul Mantra. So you can look that up in Spotify or Apple Music, whatever. M-U-L mantra. Mul refers to Mula Bandha, the first chakra at the base of the spine. What connects us to our soul body, our godliness. So we will begin with a little explanation of what this particular set is designed to do. It is designed to target the 10th body, the radiant body. So this is a sphere that can extend up to 9 feet outside from you, and it makes you attractive and magnetic. It makes you full of light, and it also eradicates and neutralizes any external negativity that may be coming your way. This kriya, I believe, is made up of 6 different exercises, and I will cover the breath of fire before we go on, and the long deep breath, so that we know what that means once we're actually in the practice. Every Kundalini Yoga class begins, or practice begins with 2 mantras that are seminal and required. So one would be to invoke the golden chain of teachers, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, and the other one that's known as the Adi mantra, and the next one is for protection, Ad Guru Name. So I know that this may be something that seems very foreign to you initially, but I've included the written versions of this and the general meaning. So just listen and feel the effects. The sounds are sacred sounds that should have an effect whether or not you know what it means intellectually. We will also conclude the practice with a meditation designed specifically to heal a broken heart. And like I said, I'm not going to play any music or mantra in particular, but I do recommend either Guru Ram Das, because it is associated with the 10th body, that's the 10th Guru, or Mul Mantra, which is tied to the soul body. The base, it is said to break blockages. It is a mantra that is the first one I learned in Kundalini Yoga because it's the most essential. So I have a particular fondness for it. You can find different versions in your music app. So let's just begin by rubbing the hands, which symbolically will connect your left and right sides of the brain, masculine and feminine energies. Also, there's a little warm-up before we get into the actual kriya. This warm-up will vary, but today everything we do will be seated, okay? So let's begin by rubbing the hands together. I like to do that for at least 30 seconds up to a minute. You'll see me touching my watch a lot because it's the only thing I have at the moment to measure time, so I apologize if that's a little distracting. So let's begin Closing the eyes, take a big breath in, and then exhale. This is the long, deep breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Similar to the Ujjayi breath. By the way, I'll let you know that I have a little strain on my oblique muscle, so if you see me struggle or stop any particular move, it might be because I'm in pain and I'm showing a little kindness to myself. Just right now when I'm breathing into the chest, it hurts a little bit. So I'm going to try to breathe more into the belly, which is really the yogic breath. Seal your lips. This is what we call the long, deep breath. Now it's another little intro before we actually start. Breath of fire is one of the breath styles we're going to use later on. So for that breath, you want to take an inhale through the nose and you want to exhale halfway and then begin to pump the belly, and the breath goes in and out through the nose. Something like this. So you want to be careful not to be reverse breathing, okay? So on the inhale, the belly expands. On the exhale, the belly pulls in. That's the pumping of the belly. So watch when you're first learning that you're not doing the opposite, okay? It is considered the yogis measure life, the length of your life in breaths. So ideally, the deeper the breath, the less breaths you're going to have. And in all these inhalations and exhalations, the yogis consider one whole breath of fire from the beginning to the end to be one breath. So a little shortcut to live longer, right? Let's begin by rubbing the hands and set up that timer for myself. Big breath in and just begin to rub the hands. You can close the eyes here and start connecting to the power within, to the divinity within. The yogis say deep at a cave behind your heart is Purusha, the inner light of awareness. So when we say Namaste, we're saying the inner light of awareness in me sees the inner light of awareness in you. So we want to connect to that. See if we can stop thinking and start feeling. Get into your body, drop into your body. Just a few more seconds. And then bring your thumbs right to the heart center. Elbows parallel to the ground. So I'm going to chant the Adi Mantra 3 times. Again, I may have a little shortness of breath because of my current condition. So I'll do my best here, and followed by the mantra for protection. So 3 times. Big breath in. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo Guru Dev Namo Om Namo Guru Dev Namo Adgure Name Jagat Gure Name Sat Gure Name Siri Guru Dev Name Adgure Name Jagat Gure Name Sat Gure Name Siri Guru Dev Name Sadguru Name, Jagadguru Name, Satguru Name, Sri Guru Deva Name. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Open your eyes and place your hands on your knees. Squeeze the pelvic floor, that's your Mula Bandha, your root lock. You want to have a medium to tighter root lock. Navel in slightly, not too harsh. And pull the chin back for Jalandhara Bandha or throat lock. The back of the neck is long. We're going to begin with Sufi grind. Now I'm going to look opposite of you. I believe this is a mirrored image, but going toward your right. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And we're going to count 10 of these. You're going to feel the weight move from your left hip to your right and vice versa. And again, you're thinking of aligning or not thinking. You don't have to think. This will happen. Balance out left and right sides of the brain, masculine and feminine energies. In and out through the nose. Inhale at the center, sit up tall, hold the breath. Exhale through the nose. Begin to move in the opposite direction, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Now I forgot to mention the position in which we're seated in. It's called easy cross-legged position. So make sure one heel, and by the way, I have support underneath me to make sure my spine is straight, right? So you want to heel into the groin and another one right in front. So avoid doing what I had done just prior, which was cross an ankle over the other. That can limit my circulation in the legs. So 2 of the basic positions in Kundalini Yoga for seated exercises will be this, what we call easy cross-legged, and then I'll demonstrate rock pose shortly. Known as such because it puts pressure in certain meridians right around the hamstring and glute area, which are set to strengthen digestion. So the yogis call it rock pose because they say if you sit like that regularly and for a long time, you can digest rocks. I love all the mysticism involved and the symbolism involved in this practice. So once you've completed 10 rotations, take an inhale, and let's hold the breath again. Exhale. We're going to move on to neck rolls. So, oh no. Sorry, I couldn't see. So for neck rolls, same position. And oftentimes, the neck and traps might feel tension when we are carrying the weight of the world, when we are maybe engaged in a little codependency in our daily lives and making the problems and judgments of others our business. Let's remember that anyone else's opinions about us have nothing to do with us. They're usually a mirror, right? So be conscious of how you feel in your traps and necks, and if you have been carrying excess weight. And we're going to do a really slow neck roll. So you're going to take your right ear toward your right shoulder and stretch the side of the left neck, and then drop the chin right into the chest. Feel the back upper muscle stretch and keep going. Left ear toward the left. Right? So do 4 in one direction and 4 in the other direction. I will give you time to complete that. Very slow. You should be starting your 3rd one on the right. 1 breath. Inhaling forward. Exhaling forward, inhaling back. Exhale as the chin comes down. Now sit up tall. Take a breath. Empty the lungs. And then let's go the other direction. Left ear to left. Shoulder. Feel. Let it stretch. And exhale, chin down. Inhale as you go back. You want to actually try to touch your chin right to your upper chest. Give yourself time to complete the others. And forgive yourself if you have been carrying weight that does not belong to you. We're always growing, always changing. And in order to love and be compassionate to the world, we must show that to ourselves first. We cannot expect to receive from others what we cannot provide for ourselves, to ourselves. Beautiful. Now for the shoulder shrugs, we're going to do them for a minute. Again, the area of responsibility, excess weight. So let's see if we can tense and relax those muscles. And we'll do it for 1 minute. So hands are here. Continue for 1 minute. So as you can see, I'm inhaling as the shoulders go up and I'm tensing, and I'm dropping the whole musculature and joint down into gravity on that exhale. So tension, relaxation. Keep going. 30 more seconds to go here. Now, your eyes can be open, looking straight ahead. You can look past the tip of your nose to get into a more meditative state, or you can even roll the eyes up into the 3rd eye. No particular prescribed gaze, or we call it drishti, right? Where your eyes are going to be in a particular exercise or meditation. Keep it up, keep it up. Now take a big inhale and hold the shoulders up. Hold. As you're holding, I want you to think of the abundance you want to hold, of the things you want to keep in your life, of the things that are good for you. And when we exhale, I want you to let go of those things that are not serving you anymore and maybe causing you distress or maybe emotional pain. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, exhale, relax. Almost done with the warm-up. Just a couple more here. So these are torso rotations. So you're going to bring your fingers, right, to the front shoulder. The thumb is going to press against the back shoulder. Again, Mula Bandha, pelvic floor on, navel in, slight tuck of the chin. You're going to inhale left, exhale right. We're going to spend 1 minute here. As you are doing the exercise, I can give you some cues, also some things to incorporate into your meditative movement, which everything we do for a meditator can be imbued with a state of meditation, right? So inhale left, exhale right. Take what we want, release what we don't want. Practice knowing when it's time to let go. The breath is a great teacher, right? So sometimes when we practice, like say a 3-part breath, we may have trouble with the inhale. That means we have trouble attracting. We may have trouble with the holding. That means we have trouble keeping what is meant for us. Maybe we give up too quickly. And then the exhale, having trouble with the exhale may mean that we have trouble letting go, right? So explore yourself, explore your breath, your infinity. Take a big breath in. Keep the fingers on the shoulders. Feel your pulse. Feel the quietness of the breath hold. And exhale, relax. Okay, sorry, my screen keeps getting dark and I can't see what I'm doing. So the final and the warm-up, ego eradicator. Let's see if we can diminish our ego, and that will bring us to a place where we can move into the world more from our hearts, more from a place of love that we have to give. We are full of it and we're giving it, rather than I need love, I want love. We're gonna go out, put out the love, and let whatever happens. We are full of love, so we don't need to be seeking outside from ourselves, right? So think of the oneness within you, the divinity within you. Perhaps think of the mantra, me and God, God and me are one. You don't have to be religious for this, whatever version of God, right? For me, I'm not a religious person. For me, my version of God is the flow, reality, what is. I'm not going to argue with what it is. I'm going to surrender to what is, right? And love my situation, whatever it is, because life is made up of highs and lows. It cannot always be unicorns and rainbows like they say in the sobriety circles, right? So for ego eradicator, you're going to take your fingertips against the mounds of your hand. It feels a little strange in the knuckles. And you're going to raise your arm up to 60 degrees. This wall is a little bit in my way here, but this is breath of fire like I mentioned before, okay? So big breath in through the nose. And exhale halfway and begin pumping. Thumbs are out, reaching to the sky. And keep pumping like this. So in this one, we are thinking these thumbs are reaching up to the sky, up to divinity, the antenna connecting us to universal consciousness, where we become a drop in the ocean, right? Magnificent and powerful, and we are everything, but we're also nothing, right? We're an insignificant drop, but connected to that oneness, we are the most powerful. Take a big breath in. Hold. The fingers go. Exhale. And now we begin our physical practice for the 10th body, the radiant body. And we're going to put the intention of just having this light come in from our hearts out into the world. Think of ourselves as a beacon of light. Every space we enter, we're bringing love, we're bringing positivity, we're bringing light. We might encounter negativity, but we will neutralize it with this wonderful sphere of light surrounding us for up to 9 feet. So not a bad idea to turn on some visualization here. So our first, if you want a little support right here, this is going to be rock pose. This is kind of a hard, I don't have a mat, so I could use maybe this underneath my legs, which is what I'll do. But if you have a mat, you can put it underneath your booty for a little support, but you will be missing the contact of the heel into that meridian. So I'm going to use this for my knees, which I normally wouldn't do if I had a mat. And this is the prescription for this pose. We're going to do it for 2 minutes. The hands are going to be slightly behind the shoulders, right? And I want you to picture yourself as those little lions they have in the Buddhist temples. That's what you're going to look like. Hands should be right under the shoulders. At this moment, my pillow is a little bit in the way, so let's not be too anal about that little detail. You're going to inhale. It's basically a cat-cow, but you're on your knees. And you're going to go and exhale. Finding the full range of movement. So let's begin. I'll keep the time. Inhale. Exhale. The prescription for this kriya, and this is 2 minutes. Long, deep breathing. You can always move faster, like this, to increase the level of energy, but continue to inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Like I said, a good mantra to play is Guru Ram Das or Mul Mantra. Halfway through. Inhale into cow, exhale into cat. Pulling the navel way in and stretching your low back. Feeling the shoulder blades melt away from each other. Kind of like you're creating the shape of like a tortoise shell on your back. So, right, the chest will contract, then the chest will expand with the breath in. Keep going, only 30 seconds to go. And when I tell you prepare to take a big breath in with a brief hold, so keep going. Almost at the 2 minute mark. Take your big inhale and exhale right into the next pose. You're going to bring your shoulders right on top of your hips. This is another 2 minute pose. We call it Yogi Mudra. So interlace the fingers behind you with arms straight from the side. If you have great shoulder flexibility, you're going to bring the arms up in line with the shoulders. But try to make sure you're not creeping your shoulders up toward the ears. To achieve that, this is a heart opening pose, and we are going to practice long deep breath. 2 minutes, inhale. And again, you're in rock pose. Long deep breath. As you're breathing, notice the nature of the breath. Can you connect that eternal in and out? Never runs out until our last breath. But that is the nature of your soul. Eternal. Giving and receiving, there's a flow. Halfway through. Great visualization to do here is to picture that light that beautiful warmth emanating from your heart out toward the world. Because the love you give is the love you get back. Never a bad investment to just love. Take a big breath in. And exhale, relax. Quickly move into our next pose, which will also, this one will be held for 3 minutes. So 60-degree leg hold. A little bend of the knee is appropriate if you have an abdominal strain like I do, or if you're just not a person who's developed their core strength and is beginning with this. Anything we do, you can also shorten the time, but the kriya specifically says 3 minutes for this one. But as a beginner, you can always shorten the amount of time. So let's begin. Take a big breath in. And this is going to be long, deep breaths. The hands are going to be slightly behind you. And you're going to lean back. Think of boat pose in yoga, but with the support of your hands, right? So, like this. And this is long, deep breathing. Elbows in, shoulders open, chin pulled back. So watch for the neck leaning back. You want the chin pulled back. Your throat locked, jaw and arm bond. You can look at your toes. Heels are touching. This pose is set to cleanse the blood and improve circulation. Like I said, if you feel a little strain in the hip flexor or abdominals are strained like mine, you can bend the knee slightly or shorten the time. This will get us out of small-mindedness and into an expansive attitude where we feel in total flow with the universe around us. 30 more seconds for the completion of 3 minutes. Big breath in. Exhale. Right into the next pose. Hands are going to stay in a similar spot. Bring your knees in. Point the toes. Breath of fire. So make sure you're not closing your chest here. This is 2 minutes. So again, you have a chin lock. This is strange because when you teach Kundalini to a class, normally you're not doing the exercises, right? You're holding space for the student, but in a video setting like this, I feel like I need to demonstrate more, so I'll do as much as I can with you, as much as I can, and to allow for instruction. You have 1 minute and 15 seconds left. These are pulled in tight, chest out. So we're not trying to round here, chest out. Almost there, just 45 seconds. Last 20 seconds. Hang on. I know this might be challenging, and we're going to be switching positions shortly. So if the hip flexors are getting tight, or if you feel a little bit weak, or just irritated, hang on. We're almost there. 5. Keep going. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Another big breath in. Pull the knees in. Exhale. Now stretch the legs behind you. If having the legs straight here pulls on the low back, again, you can always have your little support. And we call this pose the life nerve stretch. So the psoas muscle is a muscle that in Buddhism, for example, is known as the soul muscle. It is the muscle that connects our lower nature, our lower chakras, and the lower part of the body to the higher nature and the higher chakras. So think about when you feel fear, it's tied to the reptilian brain. When you feel fear, the first muscle that's going to tense up is this muscle. So every injury, theoretically, you've ever had in your life, every emotional injury, every micro injury, something your mother said a long, long time ago, something your dad said, something somebody said at school or did, lovers, the intimate relationships is where we're going to feel the most pain, which is where we feel the most love. Remember, hate is not the opposite of love, because in order to hate something, you must have loved it first. Fear is the opposite of love. So the intensity we feel in these intimate relationships can really cause us to develop tightness or weakness in this area, and our back is usually gonna suffer. And I don't want to take any more of the time to keep the flow of the kriya going, but we can talk about that more in detail later. So you're gonna keep your spine straight and reach for your toes. If you must bend the knees here slightly, that's okay. But the most important thing is we keep the spine straight. So don't sacrifice the spine in order to have straight legs, okay? 2 minutes of long, deep breathing here. So notice I'm looking down slightly because my chin is tucked. Navel in. Slightly lock. Eyes can be rolled up into the third eye, the space between the brow. So from the side, we want spine like this. So again, if you're rounding because you want to keep the legs straight, have tight hamstrings or low back tightness, do this instead, but keep your spine as straight as possible. And you're pressing the thumb tip into the toenail and pulling the toes toward you. Long, deep breathing. Almost halfway on this one. So once this one's over, we are going to finish with our final exercise for the kriya to become enchantingly beautiful. Feel your eternal nature. Know how you are just like the breath. You always were and you always will be. There's no reason to fear. There's no reason to play small. no better than anyone else and no less than anyone else. Yet powerful and magnificent, like the ocean, like the sky, like the universal consciousness. Tap into that power and that knowledge by connecting to your breath. Release something that no longer serves you at this moment. Open space for new gifts. Take a big breath in and hold. Exhale. Another big breath in and exhale. Moving into life nerve stretch with hum. So all we're going to do is keep the same position, but we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale, hum, like this. Hum. 2 minutes at least. Hum. Keep exhaling the hum. It means we connect to universal consciousness. Keep inhaling and exhaling hum. I'll tell you a little bit about how to hum. So like I said, it means we, us, together. You're inhaling through the nose and you're exhaling until you're completely out of breath, and then you're going to inhale through the nose again. The lips are sealed and you're feeling the vibrations. You should feel those vibrations right through your entire front body, maybe into your low back. So close your eyes, roll them up to the third eye, and feel that vibration of hum. Feel the vibration of we, us, together, you and me, and every particle that surrounds you. Remember, you are made of starseed. You are made of the same material as this sandal, same material as this wood. Solid stuff vibrates at lower speeds than things you can't grasp, like air, for example. Air vibrates at a much faster oscillation. But you're surrounded by you, and there's no separation between everything that surrounds you. So theoretically, you should never feel alone, you should never feel unloved. You're always surrounded by the oneness. All you gotta do is tap in. So you have 20 seconds to complete 2 minutes. This hum section can be done for as long as you want. You can do it for 30 minutes. You can do it for 2 at the least. All right, I like to do it for 3 to 5. But in the benefit of time, we'll finish at 2 and then move into our meditation to heal a broken heart, which we will do for 11 minutes. We will finish right on time for an hour practice. And take a big breath in. Hold it, hold it. Feel the power within you. Hold on to the gifts. Love everything you have in your life right now. Be grateful for everything you have. There's nothing you need, nothing you want, because you are complete, whole. Exhale. Let go of the things that are not meant for you at this time. Remember, losses can be seen as wins. Right? We have to reframe, because a loss is often just what you need to create the space for a magnificent gift that you couldn't even picture. The universe is abundant and has much more in store for you than maybe you can imagine. So remember to surrender to the wonder and to trade cleverness for wonder, right? Instead of waking up saying, what am I gonna get? Wake up and say, I'm going to give love and see what surprises are in store for me today, because I am loved, right? I'm abundant. So now that we can begin our meditation, you want to find a comfortable seat. This can be done in a rock pose or easy cross-legged position. This is a meditation to heal a broken heart, and we all suffer. We all have experienced a broken heart, and my compassion goes out to anyone who may be experiencing this at a particular moment, at this moment. So let's see if we can find some relief by reminding ourselves that we are loved. So you're in easy pose. Eyes are going to be rolled up into the third eye. You want to connect to some visualization. Picture yourself surrounded by this love, right? I can literally feel, if I want, that this room itself is loving me. It's holding me, giving me shelter, right? Everything around you is a demonstration of love in some sense, if you look for that meaning, right? Everything we do in life can be imbued with a sense of sacredness. Washing the dishes, walking the dog, everything can be a sacred ritual if that is the intention we put behind it. So let's go ahead and start the timer for 11 minutes. No particular mantra. However, the mudra is very important here. So the hands are pressing into each other. This is what we call prayer mudra. And the elbows are going to be parallel to the floor. I want you to line up your Saturn fingers, which is the middle fingers, to your third eye, and that is the space between the brow. So the arms are going to be held up a little high, okay? Ready? And breathing is normal, long, deep breaths. 11 minutes is on the clock. Actually, I'll set a timer. So again, you just want to roll your eyes back into the sockets and point the pupils up toward the space between the brow. This might feel uncomfortable at first, but then it gets a little addicting. And just think of love, be love. Take in love and give out love with the breath. Especially send that love to anyone who may have caused you hurt. They need it the most. this point, I'm just holding space for you because I want you to connect to that eternal breath. And maybe no music, maybe just the sound of your inhale and exhale. Nourishing you, keeping you alive automatically, but we can imbue some consciousness into this breath. Stay focused, almost halfway through. Take love. Give love. You're surrounded by it. You're so loved. So blessed. Complete. There's nothing you need. Feel a little tear running down my face. So many times I've practiced this and it never ceases to amaze me. It's a tear of joy and feeling totally supported, completely loved, completely whole, ready to go out into the world and give. Not seeking to gain anything, just be love. Almost there. We have something we add on at the end, so keep going and follow my next prompt. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Now reach your arms to the sky, palms are pressing. We're going to continue breathing. I gotta set a custom timer. I apologize. Give me a second here. So this is going to be for not 2 hours. Sorry. Custom timer for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. Ready? Reach the arms up to the sky. Keep breathing. Lightly pressing the palms into each other. And look up at your fingers. Put the intention in your head and your soul and every cell in your body of, if only for today, just being love. It's simple but hard. Especially when the world comes at us with negativity, anger, pain. We don't have to hold that for ourselves. We can neutralize that negativity with our strong 10th body.